Well, hello there. I am Jennifer Villamil, host of my Almost Midlife Crisis podcast. So, this week we touched on work life balance. And I think that idea of work life balance has really changed throughout the generations. I think when we look at the boomer era and our parents, it was either you had the one income households where you had the stay at home mom, but then there was like the dad that was just never around because he was the provider and he was always working. And so they would like see dad sporadically. Like I know I had a lot of friends growing up that was the case. For me, I had a two income household, which was pretty progressive, I think, for the 80s. But two full-time working parents, and they both worked hard. My dad did insurance sales where he traveled around, and my mom was an interior designer and had conferences and stuff like that to go to as well. They did a pretty good job of making sure we were together on the weekends, and we had like family we used to have a boat in the chain of lakes up north here on the north side of Chicago, and like we would be in some cases forced to go on the boat for the weekend, even though we wanted to go hang out with our friends. But we had family activities that we would do, and obviously holidays and things like that. But they worked hard, and there was, my brother and I learned how to like take care of ourselves because our parents both were hardworking people. And I'm sure that there were times that they wished they could spend more time with us, for sure, and vice versa. And as I entered the workplace, early in my career, there was like no work life balance. Like it was like a pay your dues situation. And it was so much more than it is now, at least in my industry. In my early in my career, I was working nonstop. And it was salary. There was no overtime. Now we're required, if someone's making under a certain amount, we're required to pay them overtime. That was not the case. I was broke. I was working constantly, zero work life balance. And actually, when Christian and I started dating, he used to get frustrated with me because I like never turned it off. And I would be accepting calls from clients all the time on our vacations. I just like never took a day off. And that was like the expectation at the place that I was at. Um, and as I've gotten older, I put more priority in that balance for really my own mental health because I truly believe that when we're on our deathbed, we're never going to look back and be like, I really wished I worked another day. I really wish I worked more. Like it's not going to be the thing that we wanted to do more of, right? It's always I want to spend more time with my family, with my friends, with my loved ones, with my children, like whatever it is. Like it's about those moments, not about the work moments. And as I get older and as I start to realize that my time is not in fact unlimited as we thought it was when we were in our teens or early 20s, I started to prioritize more of that work life balance and looking for opportunities within my career where I have more control over that because I don't expect a company to, and this is where the difference I think lies. I don't expect a company to create that balance for me. I think that it is up to me to figure out how do I do my schedule in order to create that balance. What do I need so that I know how to do that? What does that balance look like? Because the reality is we're still going to spend more than not hours in our day working, especially like during the week, right? That's not going to go away. Like we still are going to be working like 8 hours a day at least. And then how many hours do you really have before you're like have to sleep, right? So there is going to be an imbalance there in some ways, but physically, but mentally, it doesn't have to feel that way. And I think that the difference between how I think about work-life balance and then how I see some of the younger cohorts talking about work-life balance is that they're expecting the company to solve it for them. Like they're looking at it like well, you shouldn't be scheduling me on this, or we should look at a 4-day work week, or I should get unlimited days off, or it's like all of these policies that they're looking for the company to make rather than how do I work differently to create more balance in my day to day and in my life, right? There's that, it's a difference in like whose responsibility is it, at least in my experience. And I would love to hear if you agree or disagree. Um, and I guess my question is that fair? Is it the company's responsibility? Is it the employee's responsibility? Or actually, is it a mixture of both? Share your thoughts below. Thank you. Until next time.